YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back with some Total War Rome 2 online action. This time I'll be playing against Root Beers. I like the name. And I'm going to be playing as Galatia. He's playing as Egypt. And let's watch this replay. So I've brought a bunch of Celtic skirmishers. And I was thinking, maybe Egypt is going to try and bring a pike army, and they might back him up with a lot of slingers. So I had an idea. I was like, I'll bring a ton of skirmishers and see if my skirmishers can kill his pikes before his slingers are able to wipe me out. And then my swords will be able to just push on through. Well, that was my thought process. We'll see how it goes. Let me introduce you to my Galatian army. It is on an open field battle, which I was a little hesitant to bring a barbarian faction on open ground, but whatever. So I've got 3 Galatian spears up front. In the back I've got, it looks like, 5 of these naked swords. They've got decent stats. They're pretty shaky as far as morale goes, but they've got decent fighting stats. And then I've got 3 Galatian legionnaires to back them up, and you might be, why didn't you bring more of the Galatian legionnaires? They're so much better. They are, but I could bring fewer of them. I needed a bunch of troops in case I ended up having to outflank a pike box. So my spears serve to protect my skirmishers and also draw any slinger fire that may be coming towards them, and then also to support my calves. So what I'll do is I'm going to push my army forward like this, and then at the last second I'm going to take my spears and peel them to a flank to engage in the cav fight, and at that point my skirmishers will push forward, shower his line with javelins, and then I'll follow it up with attacks from my swords. So that was my plan. My opponent makes it easy for me and splits his cav to the flank right from the very start, and means that I don't even have to protect my skirmishers from the front, and I can start to enact my plan. So let's see how it goes. Oh, my cavalry's 2 noble horse. Let's look at my opponent's Egyptian army. He's got 3 pikemen up front. Not as many pikemen as I expected. He's got 2 peltas, so he's not going to be able to hold me off. Even if he had slingers, me rushing up like this wouldn't give him time to do what he needs to do. Then he's got 3 thorax swords backed up by 2 royal peltas, or 3 royal peltas. This is an extremely expensive investment, and we're going to show you how that goes. Now, right here, he's got 1 Thurios spears, and then I've got a Galatian light cav that was trying to get around. He managed to catch it with the citizen cav. So watch his pikemen sit here and get eaten up by my skirmishers, and then all I have to do is retreat back when they push forward. There's no way these pikemen are going to be able to catch me. Over here, I push back his citizen cav and his spears with my own spears. And I'm going to get his citizen cav. He should have just run away, and then I can reinforce with noble cav if I want. But I'm just going to let my spears fight that for a while. Same thing over here, intercepted his Thurios spears with my Galatian spears, and then check it out, my skirmishers already have his pikemen wavering, even when they're in really thin lines. So this is going to protect his pikemen as good as possible to be in really thin lines. So not a bad move, but I still have ammo left, which means that now his royal peltist and other units are going to be fair game. Now I do throw a few javelins at his own peltist, which in my opinion was probably a waste of ammo. I really should have just focused all my stuff on his royal peltist. So let's see how he does with his royal peltist. He gets a thorax swordsman into me over here when I wasn't paying attention, which is unfortunate for me. And he's got a royal peltist supporting this fight against a Galatian spear. I have a noble cav back here taking out a citizen cav. Let's just see how everything goes. So I've already wrapped up a citizen cav on this flank, and he's brought a thorax swordsman and a royal peltist out here. Look at this, I side charge his royal peltist with my naked swords because they weren't prepared. So I'm going to get some good kills there. I take right here, I take a thorax sword head on, and then I've got extra sword units moving in to help support this fight. So I'm going to try and start supporting this flank. And then look, I'm getting my general to come around immediately, and I'm going to try and drop some rear charges here. This naked sword, even though it got a rear charge, is already getting routed by this other royal peltist. And I haven't killed that many of them, only 13 royal peltists dead. I do get a rear charge on this thorax swordsman, but it's done a lot of damage to my naked swords already. It looks like I went after his skirmishers. That may have been a mistake on my part. So Galatian legionnaires into his royal peltist. These are naked swords again. Yeah, naked swords again into the royal peltist. And you can see my guy is easily getting killed by these royal peltists, but the thing is again, that's a substantial investment, and my opponent has to start to wonder, is it worth it? Over here he's got 1 royal peltist, a Thurios spears, and a thorax swords, and I'm going to try and hold them up with just 1 Galatian legionnaire. And then I bring in a rear charge here on these royal peltists, and I'm going to immediately get out with my general and try and bring another one in. I don't want to leave my general in prolonged combat. I honestly probably wasted too much of my ammo on his pikemen, but at least I did get them out of the way. It's a pretty close fight right now. I've got this Legionnaire over here taking out a skirmishers that I really badly need in this fight. Check it out, I can use this Celtic skirmisher to keep that Thorax sword busy. And over here, these Galatian Legionnaires are holding out very well for me against those two units. And now this noble horse is free, and my general's still free. And this Galatian Legionnaire did extremely well, I thought, against this Royal Peltist. It lost, but it held out for a long time. Alright. And then now this Royal Peltist saw my cav coming and changed its target. Really shouldn't have done that because it wasn't braced. You never want to charge a cav unbraced. So I got extra kills. Plus, when he pulled away from my Galatian Legionnaires, they started killing more of his Royal Peltist. So that was a micro mistake. And this unit of Royal Peltist gets wasted trying to kill my cav. And here they are still trying to chase my cav. And they're just getting absolutely destroyed while they run away. So that was a huge micro mistake. Here, my Galatian Legionnaires hung in there and actually killed that Royal Peltist over time. Again, I think it was because my opponent kept turning around trying to fend off cav charges, and I just don't think that was the best move for him. So, are Royal Peltist worth it at this point? Sure, I mean, you can see how strong they were. They cut down several of my sword units. The problem is that you can only bring so many of them, so are they worth it? Sure, they can be worth it. It's just a matter of, can you afford enough other troops to deal with the tools that your enemy's going to bring to face you? So I think that's the real question. Again, look, my opponent turning around and clicking attack orders on my cav, they're not braced, and it really doesn't help you much more than just taking the charge. And a Thorax swordsman really can't fight off a noble cav in extended melee. Not very well, at least. But I have another Legionnaire free and another Legionnaire here. These Legionnaires are some pretty sturdy units for the price. Pretty sturdy indeed. Look at these guys, 3 chevrons now after this fight. I didn't give them that before the fight, so their attack and everything has gone up here. Let's watch them go into these Thorax swords. So yeah, shouldn't have any problem with the Thorax swords. So it's another very close fight. Out here, my noble cav mopped up another one of these Thorax swordsmen. Thorax swords are not a good unit to fend off cav. So a close fight. It was a costly victory for me. Well fought by my opponent, but I honestly think that you have to look at those Royal Peltists real quick. One of them got 203 kills, and one of them got 164 and 138. Most of their kills came against naked swords or my Galatian spears. So let's go look at something real quick. If I go into a custom battle, and I've got Egypt on one side, so let's pull up Galatia here. And a naked sword is only 580. So if you do the math, a Royal Peltist, which is at a cost of, let me show you that real quick. So Royal Peltist at 1280. So 580 divided by 1280. Here's some math for you. So basically the what was I going to say? The naked sword is 45% of the cost of a Royal Peltist. So essentially, a Royal Peltist would need to kill 2 entire naked sword units plus some in order to pay itself off, as far as its ability to be cost effective. And remember, he only got 200 kills with one unit and 100 and some odd with the others. And if you do the math real quick, he needs to get 240 kills in order for that to be relevant. Now, okay, you might be saying, well, some of his guys fought against your Galatian spears and some of them fought against your Legionnaires. And when you average it out, my Legionnaires were more expensive, so kills against them are worth more, but they didn't get as many kills versus my Galatian Legionnaires. And if you look at these Galatian spears, they were also very cheap. So when you do the math and average it out, his guys weren't cost effective. So if you're going to bring a unit like a Royal Peltist, I would probably recommend you do it in fewer numbers than 3. Use it as more of a morale support unit and to maybe back up an area that needs some reinforcing where you have weaker units. If you try and use them on your own, I think that if you get several of them, your opponent's just going to have so many more tools than you because you spent so much money on heavy infantry. I could be wrong, may get proved wrong, but that's just my 2 cents for this battle. Great game to my opponent. Hope you all enjoyed it.